Hello there, my name is Malcolm. I'm here to bring you a video. I know my channel is very small, indolent channel filled with to the bring with gameplays. This was my first essay, so I am going over the script. Um, but to be honest, to record it all. This is not on the script, by the way. Continuing with the script, over 100 videos and almost no subscribers, but please, these ones, I beg you to bear it with me. I'm here today to talk about a very simplistic game at first, but there's a lot of meaning underneath its courtesy, cartoonish graphics and presentation. I'm talking about Black Souls. Actually, no. I'm not talking about Black Souls, but Lobotomy Corporation, an indie Korean management simulator where you help deal with uncontained dangerous beings known as abnormalities. In simpler terms, it's like an SCP game, and you are managing the site. My cat is staring at me judgmentally. The line I'm about to say is cheese as hell and overdone as hell too, but I mean it with all of my heart when I say it. Lobotomy Corporation is a game that changed my life, and I'm here open about saying it. Now I'll tell you how it changed me for the better. The weight of decision and control. The rate of decision and control is a hefty one as lives, even if virtual, now lie within your control, and cause you and your cause can save them or gain them. At first the game is fairly easy because once seen hundreds of goodies within your facility, it's the starting abnormality, your first monster. It is completely harmless and is there to help you do it your first days, high producing energy since it's safe to work with. It's a great introduction to the main game, to the main cat. Stop, stop, stop walking on my keyboard, please. It's a great introduction to the main mechanics. I think we don't comprehend all of them yet. As the day progresses, we start gaining more abnormalities. At first, they are Zayn, the lowest level of threat an abnormality can have. They are completely safe, or so it seems. Then treat you to not like often then. The fairy festival abnormality, a bunch of little cool fairies who heal your employee after working with them. However, if you send your employee to work with any abnormality in less than 5 seconds, after 10 having worked with the fairies will insta-kill him, making you lose an employee. This leads you to a valuable lesson. Any mistake or lapse in judgment can cost you an employee. If you're on the softer emotional side, you get bothered or sad that an employee you crafted so hard will die, and you reset the day. If you're on a more detached side, which is employees just as pixels in the screen, you may reset if they are strong hard presses equipment. If not, you are proceeding as normal. After you made amends to the death of an employee, or didn't, you start noticing higher abnormalities appearing. Those who can blister containment unit and become a menace to your employees. Going on a killing spree, or those who start killing your employees the time they enter the containment unit. Without such check, you hadn't noticed, or knew at the time. The Lobotomy Corporation tried to make you feel those deaths, and will place the weight of guilt and failure on you. Where the game is unfair, most of your failures will come from your missed calls and mistakes, and the game will make sure to drive the point home again and again and again until you learn your lessons. However, the game is fair once you adapted to the pressure of command and learn what abnormalities do. Hardly to throw a ball out of the left field at it, except on 3 separate occasions. Don't throw anything it is expected of you to do. Don't throw at you what it expects you to accomplish. More on those 3 occasions later, as here are special. The first thing this game wants you to learn is self-control and patience. And note that defeat is not a failure, and you will be bound to learn from those failures if you want to proceed. It wants you to learn your decisions how they a little bit, and make sure you understand that your mistakes won't vanish on their own. You're the one one. You are the only one who can fix them for better, and you are the only one who can proceed further in the journey. The will to stand up straight. The first introductory chapter of this essay is the will to stand up straight. Note that from here on out, I will show you with spoilers from the entire game. You have been warned. Anyway, this chapter is about Malkuth, the first Sephiroth you encounter in this game. I won't go over the Kabbalist roots and the religious etymology over the theme and name. I'm just a guy who plays video games. I'm not ready to tackle on such topics. However, I can say what Malkuth meant to me and how I understood her place in the history. Malkuth appears tries to present herself as a confident girl, tackling the responsibilities of being the head of Control Team, and the one who makes the hardest calls, as to say. However, she's also stuck with the weakest department, that being the control department. The very first place you unlock in this game, her employees are not strong or ready to face the higher dangers of the facility. She wants to prove herself as strong, show the others she's capable, she's worthy. As you progress on her mission and mystery, you will see the cracks in Malkuth's personality and demeanor. She is not ready, incapable as she portrays herself to be. Inside, she is a bubbling mass full of anxiety, ready to break down at a moment's notice. Once the mass is filled, and she heal her that she's not ready, that she's not strong, and in her eyes unfit for her position, she breaks down. In truth, Malkuth is not ready, nor did she really knew what she was doing. It ties back to her life as Elijah, a researcher who helped in the facility that predated Lobotomy operation. Due to her own brashness and ignorance to herself, she experimented with something she shouldn't, and ended up dying. Her fellow researchers just gnawed down her death because they, and Elijah herself, had, had, had no idea what the experiments would do to her. Now they knew exactly what would happen. We lead from Malkuth's first death as Elijah. Now, gameplay-wise, how to express Malkuth's meltdown. Probably the first meltdown you face. I'll say Farah have told, and this is the moment to break down, and have to help them sort out their issues. Malkuth's ability allows her to scramble your archetypes, randomizing each meltdown, so you don't know what you are working with until you work on abnormality. Now that the lore and gameplay is out of the way, I will talk about how I feel about Malkuth's lesson. The will to turn up straight. I won't lie to one of you. Growing up, I tried to please as many people as I could, with someone I was not. Do something to hate doing, and mess me up growing up. Never got to love myself in my teenage years, and even having my teenage years. All I could do was praise my work and what I could acquire and their opinion of me. The broad videos hurt me inside and took me to becoming an adult to realize that I was worthy. I was worthy before. I had value in me. What's out of what I could for interview of myself? I want to have food understand Malkuth. Should I get from where she's come from? The feeling of buying Martin the shoe to feel loyal unto yourself. Maybe by envy or low self-esteem. It's damning. It forces you to do things no matter who wouldn't want to. The anxiety is creeping, and you have loads of demons to fight. Malkuth to me teaches that I can live the way I want. I can walk with myself and fight for my life instead of waiting on others' calls, or refusing to see my worth. I can walk on my own, I can stand up on my own, I can fight for myself and what I believe, rather than doing what the others want me to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to abandon all and be an egotistical prick. I'm saying that you can be yourself, help others. Don't let them dominate your life. Don't let their expectations and your expectations of what they will say to you run your life. You have to live for yourself, recognize your flaws, and what you are incapable of doing, and proceed as yourself. Do not deny who you are, be kind to others, do not let them live your life for you, lest you regret it. The rationality to maintain discretion. Yezard is a little easier to explain. He's someone cold and pragmatic to the bone. He's not evil, mean, or anything like that. He's just someone who tries to avoid the worst results possible by being methodical, calm, and rational at all costs, despite his emotional pain and distress. This makes him look down on things such as empathy and emotions, since he views it as a weakness to his rationale and logic, and he sees allowing his emotions to run free as a way to let others exploit him. He breaks down not because he's too detached from his emotions, but because he's overly emotional underneath it all. He tries to bottle up all his fears and traumas, and it comes to bite him in the butt, making him go ballistic, and thus it is up to us, the manager, to solve his emotional issues. This was once a researcher named Gabriel. Let's call him Gabriel, it's easier for me to speak that way. A colleague of Elijah. By watching her unfortunate death, he thought it happened only because she was not rational. She did not follow protocol to a T, made him slowly develop mental problems, such as feeling as if himself was rotten, and him being overly paranoid about his health and exposed skin, afraid of after effects or diseases brought by the experiments, which led to him hearing cold until he almost off his skin, save for his face. Eventually, his fear of disease, after effects, and whatnot led him to scratch himself to death in paranoia and fear. As someone who lives with constant hypochondria and paranoia, I went dancing way before playing Lobotomy. Well, I I relate to his on a personal level. I know the feeling, the fear. Um, what is the lesson? The lesson I had to learn is that there are things outside of my control. I should be prepared, but I can allow my paranoia run my life for me. Hypochondria is a mental problem, an irrational fear of diseases, um, with bouts of paranoia and feelings of sickness. I have this, yes, or developed this. I still have hypochondria, but it is mostly under control. It make hypochondria makes you fear everything. One time I got scared because a bird bit me with its beak, and I was afraid it could give me rabies. It was almost 10 years ago. As you can see, I'm still alive and well. This fear makes you isolate yourself, makes you watch for things that are not there. It's a disease that is hard to deal with. No one understood the shit. I heard people consolate me, but those consolations felt empty. I had to learn to suppress this feeling of paranoia myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't survive today. I would have scratched myself to death like his odd, or had a mental breakdown which could lead to my death by discontrol, such as tripping and falling, something like that. Well, you can kill all diseases, germs, and all the little bitty things that live in your house. You can control them. You can do pest control, but you can't get rid of them permanently. I had to accept that there are things I will never control. I have to live my life. God lets paranoia control me, and I have to know when to ask for help. Because while I am paranoid, sometimes the paranoia is granted and can avoid problems. It's uh, it's hard to balance the scales. It's hard to balance the scales and knowing what I have to do. And note that most of the time I fear about having an incurable disease with 100% fatality rate is almost negligible. Almost. But I can let myself I can drive myself to a ledge because of a fear of some incurable disease that I certainly do not have. And I shouldn't isolate myself of others for fear of them giving me a disease Well, sometimes it's wanted, but most of the time it is not. I should add the rationality to maintain discretion despite of my paranoia triggers, as breakdown has hurt me and those around me. Honestly, most of this was not in the script. The script was simpler. It would have been faster to just read the script. The hope to be a better person. This one, Hot is a faker, a bigger faker than Malcolm, if you would believe me. Hot wants to feel good about herself, she wants to be praised as the safer of the training department, and she wants to be loved by the people. In truth, Hot does not love herself. She's a grey hog thirsting for praises she gets from helping others. However, she works in Lobotomy Corporation. It has a high rate of casualties, mental corruption, and people going murderers for no good reason. Her solution? Give them drugs and get praise in return, which leads to even more problems as people start to turn her and they're not given her fix. Her meltdown is simple. She gets cyanocephaline, a type of drug, and she gets a bad trip where she chooses herself and starts to belittle herself, while a hallucination of complete overdose on cephaline starts to be mean to her too. Her meltdown weakens all fear and play stats as they progress, a very one of the higher meltdowns in the game. Back when she was a human, Hot was a girl named Michelle, a very young girl, barely a teenager I think. She hoped in the old laboratory as a scientist. Oh no, she worked in the old laboratory as a scientist and helped them advance the project until the main lead of the project died and she became horrified of the experiments the scientists are doing, including witnessing Elijah's death. It made her go denounce the laboratory to the authorities. A few days later, the news of how the laboratory was boosted and everyone died it got to her. She got so sick with herself and so guilty. She hanged herself in her apartment. This led to her wanting to be a better person to feel better about herself after she was revived as a Sifra. Also brief. Her resolution after beat her meltdown stat. She decides to be a better person for real, not to feel good about herself, but to genuinely help others with the hope to be a better person. But it's a little easier to understand. She wants to feel good about herself, and she got her emotional peace in the praise of others. It made her feel appreciated. I can understand the feeling, but not completely. I was a nasty person growing up because of my bottled up issues and trauma, but I was forced to learn how to be a better person, for my own sake and the sake of others. I want to outgrow my issues and realize that a path of self-destruction and evil was not where I want to be. It was not the road I want to walk. I want to let go of my pettiness and cast away the meaningless grudges and hatreds that would not add anything in my life. The rage I felt had no place in my life anymore. It was hard. I had to make concessions and sacrifices to understand what I wanted, which was simple. I want to be a little better. I didn't want to feel so disgusted about me anymore. So I made a decision to be better, at least better than what I was before. I am by no means a good person, but I am better than the last person I was. I have many problems, but I think I can carry on, and be who I want to be. The fearlessness to keep on living. I I said it all wrong, but damn it. This Zatch is a strong one, not in terms of lore or anything, but the emotions I get when I think about his backstory. Not so long ago, like 3 years ago I think, I thought and I did give up on everything. I thought about life and I was happy living, so I decided to just throw things away. I would be happy if I die on my bed one day on my own terms. I felt as if nothing I ever did in my life could amount to anything anymore. I felt like a waste of space, a failure of a human being, and so I gave up. How does this ties up with his act? Because he feels that way. He hates Lobotomy Corporation, he hates you, the manager, he hates living, he is always high as a pipe, and have given up on his duties as a Sephira of the safety department, since he thinks that it is impossible to keep safety and save a single life within the corporation. He doesn't like living, he thinks that he is worthless, that all his efforts will amount to nothing, so he gave up. Scar suppression is him trying to terminate himself through the usage of encapsulation, and now have to deal with his meltdown. After you do it with his meltdown, it is not hard. It just takes away your healing machines. But you heal each kill of a meltdown. His resolution starts despite the worthlessness he feels, despite the hate he nurtures for the company, and despite the futility of a safe department within the hell that is Lobotomy Corporation. There are things worth fighting for. He may not be worth fighting for, but there are things that should be protected. And he should live, because only by living can he try to bring some change and fulfill his duties as the safety department Sephira. In his first life, Nizat was a man named Giovanni, a close friend of Carmen. Once he died, he had nothing left to live for. He was approached by A, who tried to recruit him to participate in the Cogito experiment. The same hunter killed Elijah, for record. This was a death sentence. Giovanni accepted, as I promised it would help with the understanding of Cogito, which could lead to Carmen's resurrection. They both knew it was a lie. Giovanni accepted because there was nothing left for him. He died of overdose being experimented upon by A and the other researchers. That resonates with me because I was like that in life. I just accepted it, that ugly, lethargic feeling that tells you to die or not fight it. Because deep down, you want it to happen. You don't want to stay alive anymore. You feel like you have seen everything life has to offer, and there is just a gaping void in your soul. That nasty feeling that controls your life. It takes you hostage. I won't say I broke it out on my own, not that I had help dealing with it. In the end, I had no one to help me solve my meltdown, nor was I through alone either. I had to figure it out myself, why I want to live, after everything was said and done. I should not give up on life. It was not an easy process, and it hurted me much. Finding the fearlessness to keep on living is not an easy process, and if you, who somehow stumbled on this video, has troubles finding it, I hope your life can get better soon, until the storms around you may dissipate. Mine didn't, but I still continue walking forward. I know that I had nothing left to lose in my life, so I can do is go forward and find a new reason to live, despite my pain and scars. The expectation for the meaning of existence. Tiferet. Oh, Tiferet. Tiferet is the first Sephira of the Briar layer you find, and has the biggest department in the entire game, the Central Command Team. Tiferet was a girl who lived in the outskirts in her previous life. What is the outskirts? It is a blasted wasteland filled with monsters and horrors beyond our comprehension. She was rescued by the team of the laboratory that predated Lobocorp, alongside her brother. At the time, the researchers at the laboratory are trying to find a way to extract Cogito. What is Cogito? Cogito is a type of substance that allows one to materialize the enormous thoughts of the human collective consciousness. Sadly, only the leader of the researchers and the head honcho of the project, Carmen, could serve as the bucket to get Cogito from. However, alongside Tiferet, They found her adoptive brother, Enough was a candidate to extract Cogito from, and the boy volunteered himself to the experiments. Sadly, the experiment failed, and Enough died a meaningless death. She said to Tiferet, then named Lisa, to work down in Whale until she died, not long after her brother. Her meltdown is simple, it's just a normal day, but have to reach meltdown 11. Basically, meltdown 10 plus 1. If you kill a midnight ordeal, you can instantly finish the day too. You have hit the energy quota of the day. Remember what I talked about is that I had someone to solve my meltdown. Nor was it alone. This is here. I lost my cousin 3 years ago. He was my very not that to die old and live a worth life in my eyes. So that here I am, unite with him. We can share a laugh and share stories. My existence is to live a proud life and make sure I don't disappoint him went far too soon and make life good until my end. For those who are faithful and trustworthy. Yezed. Oh, poor Yezed. Before Lobotomy Corporation, he was a nice lad named Daniel. He joined the old laboratory, the one that predated Lobocorp, as a researcher, I don't know how to speak that word, as a scientist, following Carmen, until one day an arbiter and two claws came knocking on the laboratory, and she beelined her way to Daniel. The arbiter gave him two choices: die a horrible death alongside all of his co-workers, or unleash abnormalities for her. Thinking if he chose to help her it would buy him and his friends some time, Daniel unleashed the abnormalities. The arbiter fulfilled her end of the bargain. She killed Daniel and all of his co-workers in a gruesome way. Later on, as the Sephira Yezed, thought himself as a quarterly pound who could never stand for himself or his employees. In a fit of rage and despair, he rebels against Angela and the manager, you. After you suppress him, one of the hardest meltdowns in the game, in my opinion, he boosts the damage you take throughout the day. I hate that. After his meltdown, you get a better insight of him. Lizard is a style of being a pawn, of being a coward, a self-perceived traitor. He admits that he is a loser. Will he want to run from his problems anymore? He will face his fears head on and take control of his life. He got tired of waiting for someone to save him and showed him that only yourself can save yourself. Thus, you solve his meltdown. Lizard is very direct in comparison to the others. The example meant to show that being controlled by others, not stand for yourself, not waiting someone else to save you, will only lead to tragedy and self-destruction. And sometimes the only thing you can do is face your fears, then walk past them. Don't be the terror of being you are by your fears, or others control your life for you. As I've said on Malcolm's section, only you can save yourself, and most importantly, you need to forgive yourself and absolve the guilt you feel within, so you can proceed in your life, rather than let guilt control you. The Courage to Protect. In her past life, Gebrura was Kali, a legendary core fixer who went by the title of the Head Mist, a powerful person who man looked up to, a hero to the downtrodden and the weak, and a woman who clave apart evildoers and monsters alike. But now Gebrura was reduced to a shell of her former self, a woman consumed by a never-ending rage and hatred towards the abnormalities. And the Arbiter attacked the laboratory and unleashed the abnormalities. It was Kali that defended, or tried to defend the laboratory as she made her way through hordes of abnormalities, until she reached the Arbiter and the two Claws. She dispatched the Claws. She was easily defeated by the Arbiter, and only won by a surprise attack against the Arbiter after she underestimated Kali. This event left Gebrura with unending rage within herself. She hated abnormalities without her being, and didn't care if she would sacrifice one or 100 employees, as long as she managed to inflict pain on the abnormalities. Also, if you guys are hearing a sound, there's a construction work going on the house, on my neighbor's house. I can't do anything about it, sorry. Her color suppression occurs and she decided to start bringing the facility down their heads. Um, off your heads. Burying all abnormalities underground was better than let them exist. In her meltdown, you face the Head Mist, an left class enemy with 3000 health points and three phases. Your job now? Suppress her. After you manage to suppress her, you get a glance at the past. Kali was recruited by Carmen like the others. She didn't got moved by Carmen's words and speak at first. She got curious, and somehow Carmen managed to convince Kali to defend her and the old laboratory. Convinced the legendary head fixer that their research was that important and could cure the world of their sickness. During the Arbiter's attack, Kali thought she failed to protect anything and was overcome by guilt by her failure, and that guilt carried over to her second life, but we managed to show her that she did save someone. She saved you, the manager, and of course, Benjamin. More about Benjamin later. This gives you the courage to protect. It's a strange one because I didn't find something to protect yet. I feel the need and yearn for that feeling of having something to protect, but I have yet to find that something. It's not a thing I have, but I want to have it. Maybe one day I can find someone to protect and fulfill this need in my heart of having this thing I can protect. Until then, I'm carrying on with my life and trying my best to be someone who can solve his problems in life without being consumed by rage and guilt. The eye facing the fear, breaking the cycle. Now we enter the last 3 ordeals this game has for us, the players. Remember the Apter I have been talking about? Yet, this is her other role. Kali managed to mortally wound his arbiter before she died, and Ain used the arbiter's corpse to make Bina. Now that I am on her, she and Gebura are the two stray bullets you have to deal with in this game. I was waiting to get here so I could talk about it. They are the only two of three things that the game does not prepare you to fight. The third one is White Knight, but White Knight is not important to this talk. So, she and Gebura are the only two mandatory challenges you can do on your own. Or I mean, you cannot be prepared to fight. They are about of the left. They are simply armed. They are hard as fuck. Go on. What is an arbiter? Arbiter are enforcers of the Headzoom, a nigh omnipotent and omnipresent power within the setting of Lobotomy Corporation, Library of Ruina, and Limbus Company. With that out of the way, Aang extracts her memories while Bina was on a half-death state. Unlearn the secrets of the head and how to become a wing of the world. One of the 26, 27 maybe, corporations that control the city, the last remaining city of humanity. Now, Bina is stuck with us as a Sephira. She's verbose, she's obnoxious, and an unredeemable sadomasochist. She calls herself that way, by the way. But she likes her job somehow makes her feel fulfilled. She likes it. Her job is to extract the abnormalities from the wealth of mankind's subconsciousness. The type of eldritch shit that makes one go insane. She does it raw and without protection to her sanity. She's just pure different. She teaches us about the rest of the setting, how the world operates outside of the corporation, and how she's not repentant of her atrocities. She tests our strength in her meltdown. She wants to see us prove ourselves. What is her meltdown? It is if you can deal with your whole facility going to hell. Some cause immediate kilowatt meltdowns throughout the facility, and an abnormality containing unit shocks by goes into meltdown. You'll have to defeat her, much like how you defeat Gebura. She casts special meltdowns and dealt with by working on tear dealt with and work with an abnormality under the meltdown. It nukes her defenses and stuns her. Now you have to kill her. She has 3 phases, around 4,000 HP each. Her last phase takes away your pause button. Have fun. Anyway, Bina is the make or break of this game. You can go past her, there is nothing this game controls you that will break your pace. You can go past her, then the end stretch of this game is not for you, sadly. Bina is the last frontier, the last challenge the game throws at you. Not as all the skills you have gathered up to that point. The reward for beating her, you may ask? If an energy dies, they no longer lose their ego gear. That is it. Kind of strong, isn't it? Well, Bina teaches us to overcome adversity, but there is one line in her dialogue that resonates with a game mechanic: trust. Trust is her biggest weapon. It allows her to exploit orders and turn trust on someone, through being to inspire hurt. This is what makes her grind her gears. There is a mechanic in the game, the Gravity Protocol, and you effectively calls up a Q squad on your demand. You can call the Q squad upon Bina, she'll lock up her department and gun her down, or try to. If you trust the squad to do their job well, you can just deal with the qualified meltdowns. You trust someone, and your trust can bring the hardest enemy in the game. Can bring down the hardest enemy in the game. There's no selling her usage of trust issues as a weapon. What Bina teaches us, and ask me, it's a lesson to not stop because things are hard, and see things thoroughly to the end, accept my actions, and proceed in my life. I learned part of this lesson even before playing Lobotomy Corporation, but I didn't understand it well until years later. What truly to have the guts to walk past my despair and see my endeavors to completion. It was because of Lobotomy Corporation either, but because my life demanded this type of commitment out of me. But I didn't want to break down any further. This is a good lesson that if you start something, you should see it to the end. You should be accountable for your actions, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the will to walk forward despite your guilt. The eye embracing the past, building the future. The last challenger isn't the previous one for most, but I find him generally harder. He is B, Benjamin, a character that you interact early on, until disappears. He's the last Sephira. He was a friend of Ayn, and you are Ayn. In other words, you are the CEO of Lobotomy Corporation. You are A. He is your friend, a friend which you ordered dead to become a Sephira. The last piece of the puzzle that's Lobotomy Corporation. Surprisingly, he is happy here. He has all his dead friends back. He is with you, has everything he could wish for, and the fact that you, the player, the manager, his friend, once his distorted paradise to end, angers him. Cause inside the facility, you are God. You can control time, decide who lives and who dies, resurrect the dead, and much more. Why should one stop being God? What's the point of walking towards suffering? Leave behind all that divinity and power, leave your dead friends behind, leaving Hawkman behind. B is Hawkman, by the way. Hawkman tells you to stand down and stop your foolish ambitions. But you don't. You stand your ground, and admits that you won't run from your problems anymore. Hawkman's reaction? To test you. See if your determination is truly that strong. Hawkman meltdown is simple. He takes away your pause button. Even if you try to pause, you can, but a random agent die or panic. With each pause, the number of panicking dying agents increasing with each subsequent pause. Your objective is to reach Calipad Meltdown 11 and survive at midnight, as Akuma also speeds up the game beyond the limit on the later Calipad Meltdowns of the day, up to 3.5 times, and the most we can do is 2 times. Completing his challenge, you gain a part in your employees past the stats cap they have. Very useful. Arguments about accepting your past and what happened. The past already happened, you can change it. What you can change? The future. While you cannot change the past, you can always change the outcome of your future. This is the power we all have if we want to. I want to change my future. I don't know how, but I want to. I want to live a future worth building for. That is it for Hawkman. Very short. Well, I already tackled themes I could tackle her before. So that is it. The Knowing I. This won't be about the game, but about myself. If you want to see the end of the story, I suggest seeing videos or playing the game by yourself. Be warned, it is hard as nails. I do have a series of Lobotomy Corporation in my channel if you want to just skip straight to the end. This is my epilogue. The script is nearing 6,000 words and it will surpass that count. I am someone who's sad, paranoid and fearful of my future struggles. Lobotomy's Corporation struggles and challenges speak to me on a personal level. They remind me that I have options, I'm not worthless, and my future is not yet set, despite my doubtful and harmful thoughts, trying their best to stay otherwise. What I want to say is, I am but a normal young man, a product of our age like so many others are. I am fearful of ending up in a minimum wage job at my 30s and 40s, and I am only in my early 20s. I fear so many things, the future scares me, I have so many issues I can't even count. And yet I walk, and I don't have a sad reaction. I don't know where my north is, but I walk, cause the only thing I can do. I am about to end somewhere if I keep walking. I can't let my fears stop me from walking, nor let them corrode my life and stop me from fighting. I already felt what it was like to waste away and wait for death. I felt the pain of losing the light of my life, like someone else had. And I had to overcome and deal with all my issues to stay alive, get a sense of myself, and what I should strive to. Lobotomy Corporation is a game about overcoming adversity. It's a game about accepting the past, that you need to forgive yourself in order to forgive and redeem others, and moving towards the future. I'm not ready to forgive myself. I doubt I will ever be, but I need to try anyways. Trying, even if I fail, I know I'll try to bring change to status quo, continue blindly accept it. My actions are my own, and I shall be accountable for them. The ones that succeed, the ones that fail, and the last, the ones who go to nowhere. This is my love letter to Lobotomy Corporation. I don't think it's one of the best games ever made mechanically, but in how it stands speak to me, I consider it the best game ever made for me. Its story is the best one for me, and I will continue to love this game years down the line, possibly until I die. I'm glad for discovering your games, Project Moon. I hope this will ever hit 30 years or anyone else really. But I have to say to the world how much I love Corporation and show my love for it. Until next time.